And today, the House Judiciary Committee held a hearing that they are describing as the Biden border crisis Part 3. According to the committee, in the hearing, they explored the cause and effect of Biden's border policies. Maryland mother Tammy Nobles testified at the hearing. Last year, her 20-year-old autistic daughter, Kayla Hamilton, was raped and strangled to death by an alleged MS-13 gang member.
Local police didn't have enough evidence to arrest the murderers, so Child Protective Services took him into custody and placed him in an unsecured children's home with other children, even knowing that he was the main suspect in a premeditated murder case. When he was arrested for Kayla's murder, he laughed and smirked. If we had stricter border policies, my daughter would still be alive today. Nothing will bring my daughter back, nor the pain, nor fix the pain. I'm not having her here, but I want to prevent this from happening to someone else's child. This is about protecting everyone here in the United States.
Louisiana Congressman and member of the House Judiciary Committee, Mike Johnson, joins me. Good evening, sir. And listening to Tammy Nobles talk about her daughter, you know, it's so painful, you know, watching her pain. What can your committee do for her? What, I mean, where are you headed with this?
Well, we have to bring reform. We have to get the Biden administration to enforce the existing federal law, and then we've got to change and reform the asylum program that's just been decimated. We have a catastrophe at the border. That story was so heart-wrenching, and it's happening all the time. Greta, since Joe Biden took office, you know the numbers are over 5.2 million illegal crossings, 1.5 million gotaways at least, and we think those are low estimates by Border Patrol. We had known terrorists coming across the border. We had 98 of them that were stopped just last year alone, 16 of them in the month of April of this year. Now imagine the ones that got through that were not detected. Imagine who's coming across that border in those Chinese groups. Do they have the United States' best interest in mind? I don't think so. And you're having dangerous criminals. This is not just a Texas problem. It's a problem for the entire country, and it's making the nation less safe in so many ways. We have got to get on top of this.
I know that the Democrats on your committee, that they certainly did not want this to happen to this woman's daughter, and you know, I assume there was particularly, I mean, it's difficult for everybody. But, you know, what are they saying? What are the Democrats in the committee saying about the border and about what they can do to, you know, that we can all work together to help prevent it from happening to this mother or to anyone else?
It's really shocking for people to hear, but many of our Democrat colleagues insist that there is no problem at the border. They insist that the border is not open, that you know, they have control of the situation, and everyone knows that's not true. If you look at it objectively, you know. We had a record number of crossings, the highest single day total ever on May 9th, just a couple of weeks ago. 10,300 illegals were encountered at that border, the southern border. And it's just an out of control situation. And here's the important thing, Greta, that everybody has to keep in mind. These are the obvious results and the completely foreseeable results of policy choices. The Biden administration has done this intentionally. Secretary Mayorkas has done this intentionally. They opened the border. For what reason? Everybody asks me all the time. I think that ultimately they hope to turn all these illegals into voters for their side. It sounds sinister, but there's no other explanation for what's happening down there. It's an absolute humanitarian and now national security crisis, catastrophe really, and they could reverse it overnight if they wanted to, but they don't.
Would they be opposed to sealing the border, but having an orderly immigration policy or program? I mean, you know, it seems to me that, you know, I don't even know what our immigration policy or program is at this point. It seems, you know, I just look at the border and it looks like chaos to me. But, you know, would they be in favor if the Republicans would agree to some, you know, some good, strong policy that accommodates, you know, immigrants coming into this country, because, you know, we do want more people in this country who are good citizens and good helpers and good neighbors. We are a nation of immigrants. There's no question about it. And one of the great things about America is our asylum program that has always been, you know, the haven. We've been the haven for people who are actually suffering persecution in their home country. That's who we are. We're the most benevolent country in the history of the world by far. But what's happened is that system has crumbled. It's in shambles because it's been abused. We passed legislation,
But we got no Democrat votes on it to fix that, to clean up just the asylum program. Because if you really believe in that, and you want that benevolence to continue, you have to have a sovereign country. You have to have a secure border in order to provide safe haven for others. You have to maintain the rule of law. Our bill is completely common sense. I drafted a third of the Republicans' immigration reform bill that was gone through, and is on the asylum provisions. Very reasonable, very common sense modifications to that, and Democrats didn't support it.
What about, those are the asylum seekers persecuted at home. What about the economic migrants who are coming from a failed country where, like Venezuela? I think that's a failed country economically.
It is, Greta, but they have to follow the law. We have a legal immigration system. And you can't just come across the border because you're economically disadvantaged. We can't afford to take everyone in that way. If they want to come, they have to go through the normal process. And don't forget, the people who are law-abiding immigrants are being stepped over here. They're being disrespected. They're being, effectively jumped in the line by people who just say, forget the rule of law, I'm going in. And that's what we have now. And the message has been sent, as noted earlier, to countries all around the world to come on, because, the people in charge of America right now will let you in. Not only let you in, they'll give you benefits, they'll give you hotel rooms, they'll put you up and take care of you. We can't afford to do it. We have a $31.8 trillion federal debt, and now we have security concerns because we have dangerous people coming in, MS-13 gang members, probably, we know, known terrorists, and who knows who's in these Chinese groups.
Right.
We've got to get control of this. It just makes good sense.
Congressman Mike Johnson, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Greta.